Hey, welcome to another old school here. We will be taking a look here at NHL 95 for the PC. This is the DOS version. I am Wild Matt, by the way. I remember playing this game a lot when I was a kid, like crazy amounts of this game. And there's a lot of reasons, and I will explain right now why I loved this game. So, this game came out right on the cusp of 3D games coming out and like PS1 games really becoming a thing. But like this is the first game that they played that had like voiceovers on it, these videos in the intros. This all became standard, and it's still standard to this day. If you buy an NHL game, the first thing you'll probably see is like some fancy footage of some hockey games being played, and you're like, yeah, that's awesome. So this was really the first time I did it, and just so this game looks a lot like past NHL games. This is the year between 96 and 94, and if you play the console 95, it looks entirely different. It looks nothing like 94. It doesn't look anything like 96. So I think they were figuring out what they were gonna do between those 2 years. The PC version, though, it's its own thing. It doesn't. It looks more like 94 did than 96 on the consoles, anyways. So you have all these awesome standings and stats that you can look at. That's pretty awesome. Haven't really seen that in a video game before this time, really. You have the rules here, turned off line changes because they don't do that anymore. Oh, sorry, I mean 2-line passes, changing that. Gonna play 5-minute periods because who wants to play a full game in this video? It's just gonna take forever. So right here is one of the reasons why this game was awesome. So this is probably the first video game that I played with more than myself and another friend. We used to play this game 4 players all the time. I had 2 of those like Gravis game pads, you know, the game pads that looked like Super Nintendo controllers, but you had to plug into like your sound card. It was such a weird time for video games on PCs, man. You had to go into DOS and like type like CD NHL 95 Dear or Dire DIR to find out your directory, and then find out that you gotta type in hockey to get in. It was just crazy, but that was half the fun for me back then. So let's pick 2 teams. The NHL season is about to start, so I'm going to go with the Montreal Canadiens, my favorite team, of course, against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Why not? And remember, the home team is white in this. Another rule change that is quite different from back then. But yeah, so I had 2 Gravis game pads. You could play this game with a mouse. You could play with a mouse and it worked great, which is the fucked up thing. I know usually when you play anything with a mouse that isn't really meant to be played with a mouse, it usually sucks. But man, it actually worked awesome. It really did. You moved your mouse up and then you would move up and then you could... Okay, so there was a circle, you know, the circle around your guy. So you could see an arrow around that, and you would just basically play with that, and it was fun. You had the left click was shoot, the right click was pass, and yeah, here's another reason why this game was pretty awesome. They really tried to make it look like you're on television, like crazy amounts, and that's only the beginning of what they are trying to do to give it a TV presentation here. Like, here are tonight's lineups. It's pretty cool. So you get to pick your own lines in this game. The sweet thing about this, though, compared to the console versions, you can pick your own lines in the console versions, but in this, you can see like your energy depleting and be like, okay, well, I gotta change it because his energy is going down pretty fast right now. So you can keep track of that stuff. Not only did they try to make it more like a TV presentation, but even the presentation of you being there is better. Like you could see him, the ref was getting a puck from the penalty boxes there, the whatever the hell that's called in the between the timekeeper's box, I guess it would be. And so like you see that in NHL games now. This is really like the first time that I saw like a referee actually pick up a puck and go to the circle and then drop the puck. In an NHL game from EA. I've definitely seen it a long time ago, but I don't think I've ever seen it with a game that is 5-on-5 with goalies and you can see the players on the bench and stuff. Like, this was like the apex of NHL hockey games back then. Like, even the players react on the bench. So let's say I get an awesome hit and I'm near the bench. You will see the players going like, yeah, which is pretty cool. Just went offside there. My own player's an idiot. That's okay though. So I choose to skip that most of the time, the ref getting the puck and then us coming to the circle to get ready for the puck drop. Usually I skip that. You'll see later on, I will point it out when it happens, but you see the screen, you see the big screen sometimes between the whistles, and it'll be like, clap your hands everybody, yeah, in the crowd, and stuff like that. And I didn't capture it on this video, but my favorite thing ever about this game was when you would get a roughing penalty, there would be a dog, and I believe that he would be going to prison or jail, you know, it was like a dog going to jail, and it would say roughing, because, you know, rough. I just thought it was pretty funny back then. Anyways, it's not very funny anymore because I've already seen it, but goddamn, like that scoreboard and the stuff that they put in it is pretty awesome.
1 minute left in the period.
And right there you could see here, you heard the guy go 1 minute left in the period. No, before this, all you got to hear in NHL games was like, boop, boop, boop. Okay, that means that there's a minute left. I just hit the post too, which is not a high pinging noise. It actually sounds like a post getting hit. And that's one of the things that made this game way better than the other ones, was just the audio presentation was totally crazy. Like when you scored, the announcer would go like, Montreal goal scored by number 11. They didn't program in the names yet, but like this was, like I said, right on the cusp of 3D games.
Here's the scoring summary for
the first 3D hockey game that I played was a game called NHL Power Play 96. And I might actually play that on old school one time. It was not the greatest game, but it was pretty cool. So here you go. This is the whole intermission. There, I just let him finish talking. But so this is the intermission. Like it's here's the goal summary, which there was no goals. Okay. And then here's a replay or here's some highlights from tonight's action. And then they also go, hey, here's the other scores, which they did do in the console games. But the only time they ever did that in console games wasn't, they didn't even do it in the exhibition games. It was only in season. So if you played season in the console version, it did that stuff. So here you go. We're at the coach's comments, coach's corner on CBC. So you could look at all their stats. You can even change your lines between periods. You can go look at your replay of the entire period. That's the crazy thing about having a PC. It captures the entire damn game, and you can watch it all if you want to over again. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. But here you go, second period. You see, like we all skated off after the intermission was done. Like that's pretty cool. Like it's just stuff that you look at nowadays, and you're just like, yeah, well, of course they're gonna do that. But back then, it was pretty new still. So yeah, like playing 4 players on this game was awesome. Like I never experienced anything quite like that before, and just something different at the time. You got to remember, this was 94. It says 95 on the box, but it was 94 back when this came out. So like the PS3, the PS1 was almost out, and like the PC games were in 3D and shit, of course, but we weren't quite there yet in terms of 3D and audio and games and all that stuff. So what we would do to play 4 players is one person would play on a controller, the other on another controller, one on the mouse, and then 2 people. Well, yeah, we would even play 5 players sometimes, 2 players on the keyboard if we were 5, and it was just crazy, man. Like just a lot of memories and a lot of me just thinking back right now of how awesome that was, and how stuff like that will never happen again, because like even with the PS3, sure, you can plug in, what is it, 7 controllers? Yeah. Like, who the fuck's ever going to do that unless... I can't even think of a game that would do that. You could play 4 players locally, sure. But like mostly you would do it online now. Especially like shooters. You're not going to split screen that 4 players ever. It's just not a thing of the times now. You you play online, right?
One minute left in the period.
I do have to tell you though that capturing these DOS games is not exactly easy. Here you go. Here's one of the big screen things that I was talking about earlier. Crowd getting up, all in it, and yeah. So, and yeah, there's a lot of other DOS games that I want to do that. Like Jazz Jackrabbit is one of them. I would definitely want to do an old school of that because that game was just freaking awesome. Commander Keen is the game that I was trying to remember in the last video for Mystic Towers. Commander Keen is also a pretty good game. So yeah, I am looking forward to this season here, Saturday, which is in 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. Let's just say 2 days. We are Thursday right now, so in 2 sleeps, I will get to watch some NHL, which is just nuts, coming back from lockout. So here you go. This is another highlight from out of town. This one's a little bit longer, actually. It's weird. Sometimes they do tend to make them longer, and you're like, it has suspense sometimes because most of the time it's just the first shot, and you're like, oh, okay, well there you go. That was that replay. But some other times you're just like, man, the next shot could be a goal. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Quebec Nordiques one. That's awesome.
And now, back to the game.
And I think this is the last game that the Nordiques were in, actually. Oh, no, they were in 96. They were in 96. Were they in 96? Or... The 96 or 95? Huh, no, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. I think it might have been the Avalanche then, actually, too. So, maybe they weren't in this. And then, also the mode for the playoffs in this, or the regular season, you could play an entire season in this, was also pretty awesome, man, because it would give you stats and like all this stuff that you see in the exhibition it also carries over into the season, so you do get all those replays between the periods and stuff, but like you could keep up with your stats and all that stuff in the season, and that was pretty awesome. Especially like just you know, people, you like sports, maybe you don't, but you know the whole fantasy hockey thing. Well, it was kind of like that back then. Like I went to go see, oh hey look, my goalie got this many games played and he won this many, and this guy from the team that I hate that did terrible. Haha, that guy sucks. You know, stuff like that. It was just a good time back then. So that's about it though. Like, this game was just a lot of fun. This is, except maybe NHL 07, I think this might be the NHL game that I played the most ever. And I used to be able to score on the man, just go up to the goalie and just do a little dipsy doodle around him and score. Like, in NHL 96, I guess I played NHL 96 a lot too, so I just played a lot of NHL games. Let's just say that. But I think we'll wrap it up. I can maybe fast forward through this video here because this is pre-recorded. Because it's just capturing, like I said, capturing DOS games, not exactly easy, man. You would think that it might be easier, but it's not. So let's go towards the end here. Let's skip ahead. This is the last period. Went into overtime. Almost scored in overtime, but still game was 0-0 the entire way. Let's go here. So this is the end of the game. It's like, here's all the summaries again. First period, second period, third period, and then they're like, thanks for coming, man. We'll see you guys next time. It's pretty cool.
EA Sports presents Coach's Clips.
Well, actually, this is the same video from the beginning of the game. It's the exact same video. So there's that. Let's fast forward here. There you
And
go.
elsewhere in the
Oh,
NHL
maybe not.
tonight,
Here's the scores. Here's all the scores, and then that's how it ends. So thanks for watching. That was NHL 95 for your PC on DOS. See ya.